This is my big entrance. I do this every day for my wife. She waits for breakfast and sits in the living room here and waits for me to come in. So you're lucky to get to see that. My name is Jeffrey Tobin, and I'm going to demonstrate the Theremin. I won't go into all the details about it. You can read that stuff online. But I do want to say what a joy and what wonderful memories it was to be out there in Auburn and to spend time with some amazing folks. I just can't believe, and I still hardly believe, the quality of music that comes out of so many volunteers. It's, I expect, like if I had some volunteers to do landscaping for me, you can imagine what it would look like it does now, but I just was blown away by that. And that's actually how I lost most of my hair. But I do thank you again for the invitation to come out and join you. So I've providing two videos here for you. One, just to kind of go over the Theremin and what it does and how it works. And then the second one to actually do a kind of a performance on it, which will be quite embarrassing. So let's just start with this one. And I will run over some of the basics for you, for those of you who are not familiar with the instrument. So the Theremin is the perfect COVID instrument because you don't touch it. It's wonderful for COVID. You can have 1 million people come through and play it, nobody would touch anything. It has a bunch of controls on the front, which I'll show you here. And these are really important. I have no idea what they do, but they do things. And you're not allowed to see them. On this side is a volume control. And it's played very much like you would see a crescendo and decrescendo. So a decrescendo goes down like this, and that makes it quieter. And you raise your hand this way in crescendo. And that's how you control the volume. You don't really touch the bar, you just up and down, and that's volume. This side is pitch. So very much like a stringed instrument or a trombone. It doesn't really have a particular, you can really play pretty much any note, quarter tone, whatever you want to do. The challenge with this is it doesn't really give you a place to rest your thumb and have some kind of indication as to where you are. And the trombone, the cheat is always you just have a habit of touching the bell with your finger. But it's also, because your body is involved in playing the Theremin, it's impossible to stand still. And the thing is so sensitive that it is not just kind of like, it is exactly like if you play the viola, for example. And as you move playing the viola, the length of the neck of the viola is changing while you're playing it. So that's what you're dealing with when you play a Theremin. Except they're not as expensive as violas, and you can actually throw these out the window without really costing a lot of money. Viola, you got to figure it out. So that's pretty much how it goes. Let me show you how it sounds. I'll put my hand here and turn it on. And so we're going to just play a note. I'm going to try to be as stable as I can here so we can hear the volume up and down. That's pretty easy. So now I'm going to try to keep the volume at a certain place, and I'm going to move my hand closer and further away from this part of the Theremin. Ew. So it's great for Halloween. In fact, I had it out for the neighborhood this year. It was really fun. Well, for me it was anyway. But that's basically how the Theremin works. Volume and pitch. So now the next question is, how does one find their place in this range that's constantly moving? Well, you really have to, just like your instrument, you just have to practice a lot. And that's how it's done. You just have to be really completely still. And even breathing, how much water you've had to drink, it affects how this instrument plays. Alcohol will also, no surprise there. Okay, so let me show you how I use my hand to play some of these notes. I'll turn it off here. And hopefully you can see what's happening with my hand here. So this is what I look like when I'm really angry. This is, let's say that this is C, middle C. I tune the instrument, and there's an adjustment on it. I tune the instrument so that an octave is when I open my hand up completely out, like that. So it would go G, G, C, C, okay? So that's an octave, and I'll show you that in a moment. The notes in between are Well, they're just kind of guesses, but you get better guesses, and it's muscle memory like anything else. There's the next note, 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 and so you get your fingers in place where you hope that that note will be, and you just kind of get better at doing it all the time. That's one way. Other people will play it like a magician, and they'll just kind of move their arm back and forth and do vibrato, so they don't have to be on pitch very much. I do that myself. Of course, it makes it sound nice, but that's how some people will just play with the back of their hand, and other people will use various fingers in ways that I will not show you. So that's how this works, and let me just give you an idea again of finding that pitch. Let me just start G. So when I tune this, that's one of the secret knobs I can't tell you about. So what did I do? Hit G? Okay, so let's start here, G. So it's somewhere in there. Now I'm going to do an octave. So that's how I tune it. Then the notes in between are. So you can see why it's important to have vibrato. Okay, so that's the lesson on the theremin. One can get a theremin. It's hard to find them used, but you can get theremins online. I got a theremin that was called a B3, B as in boy 3. I can't remember the name of the company that makes it, but they run around $200-300. And they do essentially the same thing as this, but they don't have all the cool secret knobs. This is a Moog Theremin ether wave, E-T-H-E-R, ether wave. And these run, you know, closer to $800 or somewhere around in there, a little bit more, a little bit less. And that's basically all there is to it. You'll never spend $20,000 on this, and no one will pay you $10 to hear it. But that's what the theremin's all about. So thank you. If you're still interested and not sleeping, I'll try to play a little piece for you. So thank you.